Love, Freedom, and Evil is a book that really came out of wrestling with an idea. And it's an idea that is very much cherished in the Christian world in the 21st century. And it's also an idea that's almost completely unchallenged. And you find it everywhere. It is pervasive. You find it in the academic world with scholars like Gregory Boyd. And now, like never before, you find it in mainstream Christian thought with books like Love Wins by Rob Bell. And in fact, if you watch interviews with Bell, and if you read the text of Love Wins, he returns again and again to this idea. In fact, he even calls it one of his starting points. It's an idea that's even infiltrated culture at large through mainstream Hollywood films. You find it in Bruce Almighty and most recently with the Adjustment Bureau. So what is this idea? Maybe you've heard it. It's the idea that authentic love requires free will. If love is going to be real, we have to have this kind of autonomous sphere of power where we can at any given moment say yes or no to a relationship. You lose that, you lose love. Now, this idea is something I began to wrestle with biblically and in my own life. As I looked at unloving patterns, as I faced my own tendency to be a selfish jerk, I realized that this is a monumental question. This is a question of paramount importance. Does the Bible teach that authentic love requires free will? Now, when I got into the text, I found the God of Deuteronomy 30, verse 6, who can actually circumcise the heart so that we love. It's the same God that I saw in Paul's first letter to the Thessalonians. This was a church in Thessalonica in the first century that was riddled with anti-love behaviors. They had sexual scandal that was threatening the church. They had a sense of laziness and idleness and entitlement that was haunting that church in the first century. So how does Paul handle those anti-loving patterns? He prays in chapter 3, verse 12 of his first letter. He says, may God actually cause you to increase and abound in love. Isn't that beautiful? That's the same premise of Jesus' prayer in John chapter 17, where we get this kind of snapshot of the relationship between Father and Son, this intra-Trinitarian relationship that has always existed of authentic love between Father loving Son, Son loving Father. So what does the Son ask of the Father? He says, Father, the same oneness that we've enjoyed, the same relationship, the same intimacy, the same authentic love, may that be in them, those that you've given me. May they love authentically just like we always have. Now that to me didn't sound like love requires free will, that the buck stops here. It sounds like God has this unique access to, this unique authority over the human heart, so that he can actually reorient us away from always trying to make our three best friends, me, myself, and I, happy, to really pour ourselves into others and to really express an authentic love relationship with God. So in my book, Love, Freedom, and Evil, I'm challenging this cherished notion love requires free will. And I'm building a case philosophically, I'm building a case biblically, and I'm building a case practically for God's unique authority and access to the human heart to help us love better.